Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of TNO. This is a post-analysis discussion on Survivor South Africa, episode 4. We're going to start off with a recap, and Kobus, you're going to take us away. Let's do this. Boom. Bada bing. Boom.
Okay. So last week's episode ended off with Jock committing a bit of a blunder during Tribal Council. Played the idol for himself, said he was going to do it for Ting Ting initially, but that didn't happen. He was rattled. And that didn't play out well for him. He called it one of the biggest blunders in Survivor history. And he's definitely at the bottom of the Tahalu tribe at this stage. But then luckily for him, as it goes in Survivor, things change and there was a tribe switch. So that really is going to save him and a couple of other players. So that was one of the major events in this week's episode. And then we had the challenge with the new tribes. Claudio, over to you.
Yeah. So within the 3 tribes, there's one which clearly got all the stronger players, and that your Rocco and your Rob, and who was Nicole, Meryl, and Dante. So it's pure physical side, and they landed up cleaning the challenge. Saula and Laome, bit of a mixture, but imbalance between those. So between the 2 tribes having to be like the team at the bottom of the tribe, you wouldn't want to be in that one. And I've definitely got travel brain. Excuse me, guys. But Lume landed up losing. Landed up losing the challenge, and they went to tribal. And guess what happened?
Yeah, Rosalie got voted out. No surprises there. And I definitely think she's going to be a contestant for tonight's Wooden Spoon Award. But before we award the Wooden Spoon, let's not get ahead of ourselves. And
please.
For the Golden Spear, there are 2 players that I would like to nominate for the Golden Spear, and I will see now if we can reach consensus about that. But definitely the first one for me is Rocco. He's just grown on me as a player. I really like his character. Seems to be a nice guy. And he basically won the challenge for his new tribe, Tahalu. You've got a javelin thrower throwing sandbags. Obviously he's going to do well.
An Olympic javelin throwing sandbags.
I must just say, I think they should make it illegal to look like Rocco, because he makes the rest of the people in the world look like amoebas. I think, really, it's crazy. He's so ripped. He makes a street dog look like Fat Amy from what's that singing show? No, man. Have you seen that?
The lip singing stuff. Yeah. No, he's quite a tank. He's quite a tank. He's a clear physical threat.
Yes.
Within the game.
That guy's brute strength. Anyway, so that's the one nomination, and then my second nomination is going to be Jock, because he created a new lifeline for himself when he jumped onto that second idol like a fat kid on a cupcake. So I think definitely I'd like to nominate him for that's my second nomination for the year. What are your thoughts, Claudio? Who made some good moves for you tonight?
I'm going to counter offer both of those. One, I think Rocco did well again physically, because that's what he brings to this game. We haven't seen much from a social side or a strategic side from our point. I think he thinks he's a strategic king, but he should just continue eating the ribs. Jacques, Jacques is he's a ninja, and he's smart. He knows the game. Again, he knows how to play individually, but where I think he's lacking a little bit is the social side. And I think he got caught out. You mentioned it last time, he's panicking a bit, and he's getting really defensive about certain things. Yeah, he's holding his ground. But we know what happens when you say too much and you speak your mind too much. We look at what happened with Tanya. So the people that I'm going to throw in there are Rob. I think Rob, not much has been said about him so far. And I think this episode in particular, he was a bit of a Jedi. A Jedi being because he was on the dark side and the light side of the Force. He left his tribe. He took the flint with him. He lies about having the idol, him and Nicole. They joined the tribe, the Tahalu tribe, where the numbers are even amongst the previous tribe. And he also then goes to the challenge. They win the challenge. So he is part of that success, you know. And then after the challenge, he acts as the saving grace and says, hey, guys, I just want to help out another tribe. And here's the flint. So again, he looks like a good guy. So he's playing that whole good guy aspect. And then last but not least, he sways the new Taulu tribe to save Sipe, a former Saulu member, to keep the numbers within the game. And that was him pushing that agenda. So for me, I think we need to give it to him, just purely on all those different facets, being the physical. And the funny thing is, when you look at him, he doesn't even look like a strategic player. He just looks like this guy, happy, smart, smiley, you know, playful. He's a team player. And I think that's what's getting him further in this game so far.
Yeah, definitely. I tend to agree with you. The fact that he sent Sipe to the island, you know, it shows that he, at a very early stage in his new environment, he quickly shuffled things around and got it working his way. So I must say, I think that makes him an A-class player in my books. And he's performing well in the physical challenges, and he's doing a great job at the social game. And I think our golden spear
You're giving it to him.
Goes to Rob.
Wait, we need to build it up. Oh, you ready? Okay, let's try it again.
Yes.
And the golden spear goes to
Roberto.
Rob. Yeah, well done, Rob. Well done. Good job. And that is a good episode on your half.
How beautiful was the bromance when he handed over the flint?
Oof, yeah, man. The bromance is still there, but I think the distance was good for his game, though. I think Nathan is a big player in that relationship between the two. I mean, in any relationship, there's the dominant one and there's this the passive one. I think this has been good for him, and now he can build on his new bromance with Rocker. But let's move on to the wooden spoon. So who do you think deserves this wooden spoon? Played the worst move in this episode?
Well, my wooden spoon nomination is yes, there are two players who I really have to nominate. First of all, I think Rosalie, like I mentioned, I think she just haven't done enough, or maybe we didn't see enough of her, but just feels like her social game was lacking. She didn't hit the ground running. She didn't build relationships. And what I think she didn't do is she didn't identify the cracks in the Tahalu tribe. I mean, if your back is against the wall, is one of the essential things in Survivor is to identify the cracks. Look where there's a bit of resistance between players, and you go to those players and you put a plan on the table. They didn't do that. They tried making their own idol, which I felt, was, no, it wasn't impressive. But
no, it felt like an arts and crafts project, and to no avail. Well, who were they making it for? To take back home and say, hey guys, look, I was in Survivor and I made a fake idol. Whoopee! Anyway, sorry.
A fake idol, you've got to put effort into that. Well, at least that's my thought. I would love to make a fake idol if I'm ever on Survivor one day, but I think I'll spend a good week on it.
She was there for 8 days, I think, or 9 days. So
if she started in the beginning, anyway. That's one of my nominations. The other one would be Felix. I mean, I think Jock offered him the pinky when he, said to him, listen, dude, I've got an idol. Let me show you the idol. Then he comes up all guns blazing. No, I want to take your idol. I want to keep it at Tribal Council. I mean, that's the stupidest thing ever. That's why Paul is where he is now, because he let someone keep his idol. You don't do that in Survivor. But
that's a valid point.
What are your thoughts? Who's your contestant for the wooden spoon?
To touch on the whole Rose Lee thing, I do think, just to quote what Tanya said, was she didn't make an impression, and that was within the first, as soon as Tanya joined. So I mean, it's the first time Tanya met her, and she didn't even make an impression on Tanya. So yeah, she was quite underwhelming. I mean, for me, she was the prophet, man. I told you, she was hiding. And it turned out we didn't hear that much from her. And it turned out we didn't hear that much from her because she wasn't doing that much. I thought there was more, based on her background, there was more to her. Unfortunately, I think she was just too nice and she wasn't aggressive again. And if we look again, you mentioned Paul, that's a good example. If you're not aggressive enough, that's what happens. Goodbye. You're gone. So I can agree to the Rose Lee thing. I think Durand, awful in the challenge. I mean, Jacques even had the comment saying, Is he throwing the challenge on purpose? I think he mentioned something like that. And then when I was watching, I was like, surely he can't be that bad. Look, again, I don't know how fatigued he is, etc., etc. So his actual performance from the challenge side is poor. And then, like you said, to Rosalie's point, they weren't working the cracks enough within their tribe. They weren't trying to find cracks either. So there's one thing knowing the tracks and there's all the cracks, and then there's another thing looking for cracks. They did neither. They literally went back to their tribe afterwards and they said, listen, we know we outnumbered, we outgunned here, so we might as well just look for a hidden immunity idol. And I was like, yeah, that's weak. Get your ass off the island. Boom. So yeah, so that's between the two. I think it's just to throw someone else in there, Dante. Dante runs his mouth too much. I think he's too transparent. I think that's gonna hurt him in the long term. Do I think he deserves the wooden spoon for this one? Not yet, but I'm just saying I can foresee things happening.
Yep, loose lips sink ships.
Yeah. So next thing, I think. Sorry.
Let's just award it. Let's just award it. Are we gonna go with Rosalie?
Yeah, I think so. I think Rosalie,
there's the wooden spoon for you. Sorry, my girl. You've got a cool.
I was rooting for you.
Occupation.
I was really rooting for.
Yeah, you've got a cool occupation, but sorry you didn't make it work on the island. So yeah, lastly, the storm is definitely brewing. So let's have a quick chat about that. Interesting times are ahead, I think, in the show. I enjoyed episode 4 immensely, although it seemed like almost an hour-long steers.
On that point, I mean, they did their job. They got me to buy a Steers burger, so that's what's for my dinner. But yeah.
Yep, Claudio is just saying that because Steers is sponsoring us 50 Rand for that for that bit of advertisement there. In any case, storm is brewing. Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to episode 5. I think there's going to be a lot of confrontation still between Felix and Jacques, definitely. Is coming up, and also, you know, you've got Tanya in the mix there, and actually I just want to mention that this Tanya started growing on me. You know, I think she didn't annoy me as much as in the previous episodes, and I think it's because you sort of like get familiar with the players. But really at this stage, I would rather see other people go than Tanya. Not that she's my favorite player, but in any case, what are your takes on the brewing storm, Claudio?
Yeah, man. I think if you just keep it in the Laume tribe at the moment, you've got now one former Laume member, you've got Sipe, who's one Saulu member, and then you got 3 Talu members. So on paper, you're thinking, this is a done deal. If they go to tribal, they're gonna just knock off the other guys. But as we can see, it's the irony is you got Felix, you got Jacques, and you got Tanya, the 3 that need to be working together, and they are the most dysfunctional 3 from the Talu tribe, and they don't like each other. So there's definitely going to be something popping up there. Like you mentioned, the Felix Jacques thing, that's already a battle. Jacques already planning to get Felix out, which is bizarre. And Tanya, something that wasn't mentioned, we haven't spoken about, is the Tanya and Sipe matriarch alliance. Remember when we spoke about the previous episodes, we spoke how similar they were in characteristics. And there's a little moment of bonding happening there where, you know, Tanya reciprocates the fact that Sipe was responsible for sending it to the island. And now she's come back in, they're going to repay the favor. And based on what we've seen for what's about to come, I think Jacques going to lose his shit again. I think Jacques, the paranoia is getting to him. I think he's too involved in the game. Like, because he's such a good player, he's thinking about it constantly, and that's all he's thinking about. I think he's forgetting the social side. So that's one thing. So look out for that. And then last but not least, if you go back to the new Saulu tribe, where Kobus is the only former Talu, which is the purple tribe, he's the only one there. And we know I still donned him as an early villain. So I think with his back against the wall, I think he's going to cause some fireworks in that tribe.
Yeah, no, definitely. And but I think what also makes that tribe's dynamics interesting is the fact that you've got Maba, Mike, and Jeffrey in that tribe. They're basically a solid 3, so they can really cause some damage there and start voting people off and so on. And
Yeah.
I've seen a quick preview of next week's episode where Nathan suggests that they actually throw the challenge. So things seem to be really cooking in that tribe as well. If you're at the point where you want to throw a challenge to get someone out. And so the Tahalu tribe, I think there it seems like it's moonshine and roses at this stage. We've got Tani Letitia there in the tribe, and Rocco and Rob and Nicole. They're very strong, and Dante. So hopefully they win challenges and they don't have to go to tribal council. But I am interested to see how things are playing out there between all those strong personalities, whether we'll have new bonds building or whether we'll be getting people who are looking to vote each other off.
Yeah, I just want to say, I know we're running over time here, but on that point, I think like South Africans, especially in the South African seasons, there has definitely been a level of progression from the actual play. A guy like Jacques is good because he's mixing up a little bit and he's showing that there's more to the Survivor game. I do think a lot of these players are going to be loyal to their previous alliance. I hope I'm wrong. Because South Africans generally, like once we develop trust, we tend to rely on it. So I'm hoping they remember that this is the game of Survivor and they don't stick to their former alliances. So like what Jacques was saying when Tanya maybe possibly doing the CPA thing. But if not, I mean, you've got the former Lemay, they have the numbers, except now that Rosie's gone. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm excited for the next episode.
Yeah, no, it's
take it away.
It's gonna be good. Claudio, thank you for joining me for another episode of TNO. I will see you again next week, and hopefully all of you will see us two again next week. Okay, from TNO, we are out.
Cheers, guys. Boom.